The second part of IELTS speaking is cue card. It means you need to give a short presentation by a given topic. Per se, in the first part, you need to talk about yourself. And then in the second part, you need to give a presentation short in around 2 minutes. So they call it a cue card because it generally comes with the cue card. This kind of card will be given towards you in the time of exam. As well, nowadays 95% of the speaking test happen through the video conference. So even it is video conference, teacher will give you something whatever you are watching in the screen now. This kind of card you will get. So in the cue card, they give you a topic, and then based on the topic, they will give you 4 different questions. See here, in the given topic, if you read it, describe a car journey you made that took longer than expected, then they are giving you 4 questions. But most of the students concentrate on the questions a lot. It's a mistake. Why I am telling you? See, first of all, they are saying you should say. They're not saying you must say. Means these are the questions you are not mandatory to cover all of them. And most surprisingly, most of the questions out of 4, 2 or 3 will be covered automatically. If you read it, where you are going. So whenever you are gonna talk about a journey, obviously you're gonna say where you are going, who you are with. If you are alone, then you'll say you are alone. If you are going with someone, maybe you will talk about you are going with someone. So you can see 2 or 3 questions will be covered automatically. So my suggestion is for you not to think about the question. What kind of problem you might face if you just think about the questions? See, these questions, these 4 questions are very direct, especially the first 3. Very direct. You can't talk more than 1 or 2 sentences about them. So what happens for this student? They take notes about these questions and they face the problem because they can't say more than 1 or 2 sentences for each questions. So that happens. So from now on, whenever you will get a topic, just forget about all the questions. And what will you gonna remember? Just remember about the topic, what you need to talk about. That's what you need to remember. See, today we will gonna learn a method which it will gonna help you how to cover cue card. So in the cue card, first 1 minute, teacher will give you 1 minute to think over, or to take notes. Taking notes will play an important role, but the problem is students always take notes about 4 questions. Means, see, when you take notes only for 4 questions, means you have only 4 points to talk about. Only 4 points. And if you just say 1 or 2 sentences for each point, then after talking 6 to 7, 8 sentences, you don't have anything to talk. And that's the main reason after 30 seconds, 40 seconds, 50 seconds, for students 60 seconds, after 1 minute, students don't really have to talk anything else. They got dry. They don't have any other ideas to talk about. So either they repeat or they're mumbling. That's what happens with other students. So from now on, let's just forget about all the questions. Then what should we do? Before you do that, you need to think about what kind of topic you might get in the time of exam. So most often or not, 90% to 95%, if you just research a bit about the questions from Cambridge 16 to Cambridge 19, the latest books, you'll see a pattern there. They follow generally 3P. What they follow? They follow 3P. What is 3P? First P, products, person, and place. These are the 3 things they will always gonna ask you. Either you will need to talk about some products or one specific product, or you need to talk about person. Sometimes you need to talk about a place. These are the 3 things they will always gonna ask you, 90 to 95% cases. So you need to have the ability to talk about a product, person, or place for 2 minutes continuously. Because see, in part 1 or part 3, teacher actually have a lot of things to do. So when they ask you a question, you answering that, teacher also need to think about, okay, what I am gonna ask the student the next question. If you look at here, see, first a teacher asks you this question, you are answering, teacher listening, right? Think about it, just visualize it. And then teacher also need to think, okay, what I am gonna ask this student next question. That happens. Same thing happens in the part 3. But in part 2, teacher have nothing to do but 3 minutes. 1 minute for your preparation and 2 minutes when you talk. So for 3 minutes, teacher actually have nothing to do but to listen to yourself. So teacher will just be idle and listen to yourself. So teacher will have more opportunity to judge you. So be careful. In the part 2, teacher will obviously judge you more than any other parts. And you need to be at least fluent. Super important. Be fluent in part 2. And to be fluent, you need to have the ability to generate the ideas continuously. It's super important. Continuously generating idea. Because if you can't generate the idea continuously, what will gonna happen? You will stop. You will mumble. So that will happen. Today we're gonna learn a way, the 3P way, so that you will be able to generate ideas continuously. You will never have the shortage of the ideas. That's what we're gonna learn. Let's go. First, research some of the questions from Cambridge 16 to Cambridge 19. See, in the first one here, describe a person from your country who has won a prize, award, or medal. So ultimately, teacher is asking you to talk about a person. 3P, person. And then some questions. We're not going to concentrate on questions here. Because see, who is the person? So when you're going to talk about a person, you must say, who is this person? Who is prize? So you're talking about the prize. You will obviously say what kind of prize. So 2 or 3 questions will be covered automatically. So don't worry about it anymore. Don't worry about the questions. And then describe a car journey you made that took longer than expected. So car journey. Car journey means you are going from one place to another place, right? You are going one place to another place. So it is actually about the place. Journey. Describe a place you visited that has a beautiful view. Ultimately, you are talking about a place. 3P. Place, person, and products. And the next one, see, describe some food or drink that you learned to prepare. Discuss some food or drink. So food or drink, we can say it's a product. Because see, any kind of product, you can think products, food or drink. It has the color, it has different kind of prices. That's a product. And then describe a tourist attractions. See, place. Tourist attraction. It's a place. If you can go on and on, it will always be about 3 things. 3P. Describe a time when you enjoyed visiting a member of your family. So you can connect. First of all, visiting an area, right? Your home. So it's a place. And you are talking about a person. So place plus person. You can connect these two for this cue card. Place plus person. Because you are talking about visiting a member of your family in their home. So home is place. And a member of your family, this is person. Place plus person. Describe a time when you met someone who became a good friends with. You're talking about someone, means person. And then describe the neighborhood. Neighborhood means the place you live in, the in around, right? That is your neighborhood. First, say you live here, and the place in around you is your neighborhood. It's a place. So describe a neighborhood you lived in when you were a child. So they're talking about the past. You need to talk about the past where you lived in. But ultimately, you're talking about the place, your neighborhood. Place. 3P. And then describe big city you would like to visit. Again, place. Describe a big city. place. And then describe a monument, a statue or a sculpture that you like. So monument, you might think about, okay, I'm talking about a monument, statue, sculpture. It's in a place, right? It should be in a place. Think about a Statue of a Liberty. It's in a place, right? You can talk about a place. And then maybe it's a statue of a famous person. If it is a statue of a famous person, then you can talk about a person. And then a statue obviously have height, weight, and also color, right? You can also talk about the product. You can mix it up. You can mix with the place, person, and product when you're talking about a monument. And then describe a tourist attraction, again, place, right? So you can see 95% cases or more than that, you'll always need to talk about 3P. Either you talk about it a place, or you talk about a person, or you talk about a product. Sometimes you just mix it up. Place plus product, or person plus product, or place plus person. That's what you need to do. Now we're going to learn some ideas so that you will never have the problem to talk about a place, person, or product. First, say, if you talk about the place, think about it. If you talk about a place, first you can start with the name of the place, whatever the place name is. And then you can talk about the where it is, right? You can talk about the area, where it is. And then you can also talk about the dimension of the place, right? Maybe you don't know accurately, but you can gauge it. It is 4 square kilometers. You don't need to be accurate, because teacher will not gonna tell you, okay, let's go and count it. They'll never do that. You can talk about the place of the name of the place, and the location, the dimensions of it. You can talk about that. You can start with that. And then you can talk what kind of things you can see out there. What kind of things you can see out there. You might see different kind of things. And you can also maybe divide it into time. How is it? First, say if you go to a place in the morning time, what you see, maybe in the evening time you see the different things. Maybe in the night time you see some other things. Don't just talk about, okay, these and these are the things I can see out there. Divide it. You can say, okay, in the morning you can see these, and in the evening time you can see these, but in the night time you can see these. So divide it. Morning, evening, and night time, what you can see. And then what to eat. Whenever you go to a place, eating is mandatory, right? You obviously eat something. But you can also talk about the timings here. First, say what you eat in the breakfast. Most probably you don't eat the same thing in the lunch. Maybe in the evening or afternoon you take some snack. Maybe in the snack you take some other things. And then maybe dinner, what do you eat? Don't just say, okay, these are the things I eat there. That will just take one sentences, right? So it's very important whenever you talk about something in speaking, you look into a very small details. We can't talk because we don't think about small details. We just talk in overall. Talk about small details, divide it. What you can eat in the breakfast? What do you eat in the lunch? What is it for the snacks? What is it for the dinner? See, even you just talk about these things, it is going to take 2 minutes. But we're going to learn more of this, so that you will never ever have the problem with the generating idea. Then dress. See, whenever you talk about the dress, you can also divide it into timings. First, say you went to a sea beach, right? So in the morning you went there to see the sunrise. In the evening time you went there to have some swimming. Do you think you will gonna wear same dresses when you go there to see the sunrise, when you go there for the swimming, or when you go some other places for the dinner? We don't wear the same types of dress. It depends. Even if you go with some friends out there, the dress you will wear, maybe when you will go with your girlfriend or your closest one or your family, you might wear the some other dresses. So dresses also depends on the timings and the situation. So describe that, what types of dresses you wear in what types of situation. And then you can talk about the importance. Whenever you go to a place, it must give you some entertainment. It also give you some education. What kind of entertainment did you get out there, and what types of education you get out there? Talk about that. Maybe a kid just was beside you, you throw something in the sea beach, and that kid took that and put it on the bin. You learn that, okay, I should not throw the things anywhere but in the right place. It can be a little bit of education. You can talk about that. Maybe some other things you learn. So talk about the entertainment, also about the education. And then whenever you plan a trip, you must need to use a transport. It can be two types of transport. It can be a public transport. It can be a private transport, right? And there are variations of public transport. For the public transport, you can say buses, you can say train, or even you can say air. So you can talk about, okay, what types of public transport did you take? If it is private transport, it can be by the bike, maybe with the friends, and then it can be by a car. So describe that. If you take the private transport, why didn't you take the public transport? Maybe family was there and you wanted to have a comfortable trip. That's the reason you take the private transport. If you took the public transport, then describe why didn't you take the private transport. Maybe it was pricey, or there are a lot of people out there and you needed a public transport. What was it? Describe that. And then you can talk about the distance. Maybe how far is it from your home? You can talk about the tickets. You can talk about the payment, right? These are the things you can also talk. And then timings, the time you have gone there. First you went there in January. Then why didn't you go there in other time? Why didn't you go there in July or December or October? Maybe that's the only time you got a vacation, or this is the best time to visit there. Describe that. Why did you visit in that specific period? Timings. Then you can talk about the safety issues. See, all the places don't really have the same or similar criteria of safety issues. Some places are safe for the guys, some other places are safe for the girls. Maybe same place safe for everyone until 10 p.m. and the same place is not safe for the girls after 10 p.m. So that happens. You can talk about the safety issue. You can also talk about what authorities can do, what government can do to make it better. You can talk about that. And then you can talk about criteria, what types of people generally go there, because same types of people don't really like the same place. Some people maybe like the sea, some other people maybe like the hills area. And there are some people who want to mix it up. There will be sea and the hills. So that also happen. And also test. Some people want to go there alone. Some other people want to go with a group. Just describe that. What types of people will be suitable for, especially for that place. And then activities. What kind of things you can do there? You name it. See, we don't do all types of activities. First, say you went a place and you don't really cover all the activities out there. Some activities maybe you performed, some activities you didn't. There can be reason. You also describe the reason why didn't you join there. Maybe you didn't have the money, or maybe it was super thrilled, you're scared of it. So describe that, and also describe what type of activities you have joined or performed or participated, and what types of fun you get out there. And then a review. See, before you go anywhere, you look at the review. And nowadays there are a lot of blogs, video blogs, right? People talk about the place, what you can do and what you can't. To talk about the reviews, so there can be two types of reviews. One is before. So before review means from other people. Before review means from other people. You look at other people, what kind of things they have to say about that place. And after review, this review will be from you. You will gonna review it, the positive and also the negatives. So you can talk about two types of review. Before you went there, it will be from other people, and after you went there, it will be from you. And then there should be, you will not find any place in the world and there is not even a single negative things you will find. Obviously there are some negative stuffs out there, at least 1 or 2 points. You should talk about those too. Talk about those. And then you can also talk about some unexpected weather. Maybe you went there and after some time you got the rain and you couldn't really move around. Unexpected raining. So see, if you can bring these topics, you don't even need to bring like all of them. You just can bring like 5 or 6 out of them. You'll be good to go. It will be easier for you to talk maybe whatever at the time you need. Maybe for 60 seconds, more than that, 120 seconds. You can talk for as long as you want. But generally in around 100 seconds, teacher will gonna stop you. And now think about yourself. Before thinking about these, what kind of complexity you feel, and also ask yourself, is it a little bit easier for you now to talk about a place? Also ask yourself another question. If teacher asks you in the time of exam about a place, don't you think it will be a little bit easier for you now after reading or learning or taking notes about this? So yeah, do these things in this manner. Hopefully it will gonna help you to talk. Maybe in some other classes we will talk about persons and also the places. You already covered the place, so maybe person and product we will gonna cover in some other classes. Hopefully it will gonna help you. Till the next one, goodbye.